Induced abortion is always a very grievous offense, abominable in God's eyes. Teachings of His Holiness Pope Peter III. Abortion magnifies the savagery of Herod, who ordered the killing of the holy innocents in the times of Christ, thinking that the child Jesus, King of Kings, would be among them. In the world today, the practice of abortion continues to mow down the lives of millions of innocent children, an abominable crime. Though governments allow it, God the Creator, the maximum authority, will never allow anything so cruel, so savage, as for a person to kill their own child. The great majority of human beings are unaware, or seek to be unaware, that every human being conceived is at once a human person from the very moment of conception, since at that same moment of conception of a human being, God infuses the spiritual and immortal soul, and hence, from that moment on, the child is a human person with the right to life. Consequently, from that moment of conception in the maternal womb, the child possesses the same rights as a child once born. On speaking here of abortion, we refer solely to criminal abortion, namely, willfully induced. Criminal abortion is the interruption, willfully induced, of the development in the maternal womb of a human being conceived, living with the direct or indirect intention of depriving the child of life. This crime is considered abortion whether it is an embryo, fetus, or immature human being for whom it is impossible to live outside the mother's womb, or whether it is a human being already mature whose delivery from the maternal womb is accelerated with the intention of killing him. Abortion can be induced, sometimes by the pregnant woman herself, by way of excessive physical exercises or abortive medicines, or by others using manipulations, and as well by medical intervention in an operating theatre. Willfully induced abortion is always a most grievous mortal sin in whatever way it is carried out, since it is true murder, with the aggravating circumstance that the victim is defenseless. Hence, there is no reason at all that can justify it in any case. For to produce an innocent human person's death directly is always a horrendous crime, whatever the circumstances may be. And all those who have intervened, though simply by counseling it, are also guilty of committing the same murder. Today, no one speaks of the remedy for avoiding these terrible and abominable abortions. The remedy is called holy chastity, holy purity. If human beings were to live chastely, there would not even be that false excuse for killing unwanted beings conceived. But that is not so. The world preaches immorality, fornication, indecency, impurity, false pleasure, as something normal and necessary for a person living an ordinary life. Let us begin with the causes of future provoked abortions of unwanted beings once conceived. We shall give a list of the dangers in the course of life that can be the cause of those dreadful and abominable induced abortions. Children receive a satanic sexual education at school, but not to help them to become pure and chaste. Quite the contrary, the diabolic teaching they receive is to degrade them, to destroy children's innocence. Television, internet, and communications media are #1 enemies for a Christian household, as they give access to immorality and pornography very easily. Today's fashions are a homage to the flesh. They provoke lust. Filthy reading, immoral spectacles, indecent dancing, beaches and swimming pools, modern music, all serve just to foment fornication. Discotheques, so-called, are hellish places where there is always a proximate occasion of sin, given the scandalous dancing, the diabolic setup, the infernal music, provocative dress, ghastly screams, gestures, drinks, and so on. Modern music, that is, rock and all its derivatives, etc., are produced by Satan himself. By means of that music, all the lower passions of man are given free rein. And besides this, it brings on hysteria, fanaticism, drug addiction, excessive drinking, and many other psychical and physical disorders. Beaches and swimming pools, etc., are places of scandal and proximate occasions of sin, so that one cannot go to them when there is immorality. Take care not to look at things you should not. The eyes are the windows of the soul. Be careful with hearing without discernment. Do not listen to things you should not. Be careful with immoral thoughts. Be careful about what you touch. Do not let yourself be touched. Beware of immoral dress. With your immoral dress, you sin and lead others into sin. Take care to live with modesty and maintain decency. Be careful with photographs, videos, and films in the social networks. Be careful with the social networks in general. Be careful not to go into discotheques and nightclubs, places for losing your soul. Be careful to avoid false and dangerous friends. Be careful with going out courting and with the places you go to. Be careful with your boyfriend and don't let him do with you as he pleases. Beware of drugs and alcoholic drinks. They serve to destroy the body. Do not forget, God sees everything, hears everything, knows everything, down to the most hidden thoughts. Abominable and terrible abortions are generally unwanted beings conceived as the fruit of sin. Seek spiritual remedies so as not to be led astray by the world, the devil, and the flesh, and thus not fall into the horrible temptation of committing induced abortions. Here, holy Mass is validly celebrated solely in the one, Holy, Catholic, Apostolic, and Palmarian Church. Pray the Holy Penitential Rosary and other prayers. Spiritual reading. Receive sacraments that are valid only in the one, Holy, Catholic, Apostolic, and Palmarian Church. Avoid sinful and dangerous places. Avoid bad companions and worldly parties. Struggle against the world, the devil, and the flesh. Dress decently. Thoroughly clean out your home and remove everything that goes against holy chastity. Live in the holy fear of God, and from your heart honor Mary, Most Holy, refuge of sinners. We know that we shall be criticized by abortionists, but God is over and above everything. The truth is over and above everything. The fifth commandment of God's law is quite clear. Do not kill. Petrus Tertius, Papa.